Today I thought I'd just come on and do a bit of an update in between clients, and I'm going to be talking about my alternate day fasting and my goal to get some more weight off. Hi there, my name is Sue. Welcome to my channel. If you've not been here before, I've been eating a carnivore diet for 878 days today. It's been ages since I worked out how many days, and I worked it out and I was like, that's a lot of days. So it's been about almost 2.5 years since I started on this carnivore journey, and what a journey it has been. So if you've not been here before, I have a lot of videos talking about what I've been doing, trying to work out. I had all these gut issues, IBS diarrhea that just wouldn't quit, and so that was kind of my journey, working through SIBO and mold illness and a whole bunch of things. But I feel like I'm finally getting there, getting somewhere, and my gut health is so much better. The diarrhea has gone away, yay, and has been gone for a couple of months now at least. So I think I can confidently say that I've nailed it this time. And so my goal now is to kind of try and work out what other foods are affecting my body, because I still have inflammation in my body. I get a lot of kind of muscle aches and pains and just generally kind of achy signs of inflammation in my body. So I'm kind of at a point where I want to work out what's causing that, and I'm also wanting to get more weight off, because I've still got at least probably 20-25 kilos to get rid of. So my weight loss has been really slow, and I think there's been multiple reasons for that. I think my bowel issues, my gut issues has been part of it. The stress that was causing has been a huge part of it, and so it's not really surprising that my weight loss has been slow. I also have lipedema, which makes it a little bit of more of a challenge for my body to be able to use some of my body fat, and so that's why I'm back to fasting, because fasting has been shown to really help with lipedema. A lot of women get better success with that, and of course the carnivore diet is the right way to go as well. So I started the alternate day fasting this is my third week, although I only did half a week the first week because my sister came to stay for a couple of days, so I had a couple of days off. But what I'm actually doing is I'm fasting Monday, Wednesday and Friday, and then I eat Tuesday and Thursday, and then Saturday and Sunday. And part of the reason for doing it that way is because I really struggle with fasting on the weekend. I don't know why, I just do. It just doesn't feel right to me. The weekend is a time for kind of relaxing and being able to eat and just, enjoy your life. Whereas through the week when you're working, it's a whole different story. And so for me to do the Monday, Wednesday, Friday kind of works. I fast from Sunday night. So I have dinner on Sunday night, and then I fast through until Tuesday at some point. So sometimes I'll do lunch, sometimes I'll fast through till dinner. So on the Tuesday I might be doing 2 meals, I might be doing 1 meal, just depending on how things go. I'm not being rigid with it. I'm not kind of going, okay, I'm doing this many hours. I just kind of go, I might do this many hours. If it goes a bit longer, that's all good. If not, then that's fine as well. If I'm hungry before that and really struggling, then I'll eat earlier. I actually did that. I think one day last week I was really kind of white knuckling things, and so I ended up eating earlier than I had planned, and I mean that's fine, because I did some fasting a few months back as part of I joined the steak and butter gang. So Bella, the steak and butter gal, I joined her steak and butter gang again, and I was following their protocol, and it was going well until I got to doing sort of longer fasts and rolling fasts, and then what I found was that I started craving other foods, and I started fantasizing about veggies, and I thought, I'm in trouble here. So I didn't want to get too far into that, so I stopped, and I haven't really done much fasting since then, but back at it again now. I do intermittent fasting, just missing breakfast or missing breakfast and lunch. I do that all the time, but this is kind of a bit more extended. So Sunday night I'll probably go, as I was saying, I'll go from dinner time Sunday night through to, sometime on Tuesday, and then I'll eat 1 or 2 meals on Tuesday, and then I will fast through until Thursday. So again, 1 or 2 meals on Thursday, and then fast through until Saturday. And so that's what I'm doing, and it's going pretty well so far. But one of the other things, as I alluded to earlier in the video, is that I really want to work out what's causing the inflammation in my body. I really suspect eggs, and I absolutely love eggs, and I eat a lot of them. And so if I can't have eggs, I'm going to be a little bit devastated. I'm hoping that if it is, that it's just the egg whites and not the egg yolks. So what I'm planning on doing is doing an elimination diet, and I don't think I'll fast while I'm doing that. The reason I haven't started it yet is that we have a surplus of eggs in the fridge, and so I'm kind of ploughing my way through those because hubby doesn't eat a whole lot of eggs, and if I leave them, they'll just end up going off. So I'm eating those, and once we get down to, a dozen or so, then I'll get started on this. And that should probably be next week. So it is Thursday at the day of recording this, and I'm kind of figuring that I'll probably maybe start next Monday or so. And so once I start that, I don't think I'll do the alternate day fasting because it's already kind of messing with my head a little bit, restricting all these other foods, because what I am taking out of my diet is I'm taking out dairy. So at the moment I have I've been having cream again, and I have a bit of cheese, not a huge amount of cheese, but I do have cheese off and on. Cheese I can kind of take or leave it, but it's but I do like it sometimes on things, and it just kind of breaks things up a little bit. So taking out the dairy, taking out the eggs, which is going to make a big difference to my diet. I'm going to take out all the plants that I'm still currently eating and drinking. So at the moment I have been having dandelion and chicory coffee, like it's a dandelion chicory root coffee. Didn't say that very well. Dandelion and chicory root coffee substitute, basically, and it's really nice. And I've been having that with cream instead of decaf, because one of the things that I have realised is that the decaf really inflames my body. If I have it once, if I have a decaf, I'm fine, but if I buy it and bring it into the house, then I drink it every day, and I'll drink it multiple times a day, especially if I have cream with it. And so I'll have 2 or 3 of those a day, and what I find is that over the days and weeks, progressively I just get sorer and sorer and sorer. And so I know that coffee doesn't do good things for me. It never has, and I had a lot of years where I didn't drink it at all, and so I need to get back to that. So I have stopped having the coffee, and I've been having the dandelion instead, so I've got to get that out. Occasionally have other herbal teas, not often, so that's not a big deal. The few kind of herbs and spices that we put on our food, we don't use a whole lot, but we do sometimes, like we'll have, we make like meatballs or rissoles with onion powder or garlic powder in them, and chopped up jalapeno, so that'll need to go. And I've still been taking some supplements. So I've been taking like black seed oil just recently for mold, and chlorella. I don't know whether chlorella counts as a plant. It's an algae. I don't know whether that counts. But I'll probably knock that on the head as well while I'm doing this, because I really want to take just about everything else out. And I have a little bit of fermented sauerkraut or kimchi most days at the moment, so I will remove that from my diet as well. So I'm taking all of those out. I'm undecided at this stage whether I'm going to go right to the lion diet with just red meat, or whether to just keep all meats in and still allow myself chicken and pork and fish. I don't think they're an issue for me, and the lion diet just sounds really monotonous to me right now. I think I go through phases where I could handle it, but at the moment I'm not really sure whether I want to do that or not. I'll decide before I start. So, but if I take out all the other stuff and I've still got some inflammation going on, then I'll probably have to remove the chicken and pork and see if either of those are causing a problem. So I'm basically wanting to do an elimination diet. And so my thought is, if I go back to a lion diet, I might just do the red meat for a couple of weeks and then reintroduce chicken and then reintroduce pork and see what happens there. Otherwise, with all the meats, I will probably do 30 days is kind of what I'm thinking, and then start reintroducing other things. So I'll probably introduce egg yolks first, see how that goes, and pray that it's okay. Please let it be right. And then egg whites, and then, cream, butter. I'm actually wondering whether butter is an issue for me. God, I hope not. I really hope it's not. Or whether the salt in the butter, because the salt that they use in the butter won't be the same as the salt I use at home. It'll be that cheap, nasty stuff that's got stuff added to it. You can guarantee that. So I actually wonder whether it's the salt. So when I reintroduce butter, I'll probably reintroduce unsalted butter and then salted butter and see what happens with that. So it's actually funny. So something that I've noticed since I've been back fasting is that when I eat, when I break my fast, I get sore. And that doesn't, within about 5 or 10 minutes, I notice the difference in my body. So that's why I kind of suspect it's the eggs, because the eggs are pretty much always there when I break my fast. I quite often break my fast with poached eggs, but it's usually poached eggs and butter. But then sometimes it's been meat and eggs. If I'm just doing one meal, it'll be, like steak and eggs quite often, and I still get sore. I haven't really paid attention to see whether I get sore if I don't have the eggs. But it is something that's noticeable. And today it happened. I had been fasting. So it's Thursday today. I had fasted through from Tuesday night. So my last meal was Tuesday night, and then I ate today at lunchtime, and I had poached eggs and butter. And I had just finished working with a client. I had been doing a massage, and I was great. My body, there was no pain really in my body. I've been having problems with my neck getting really sore and tight when I massage. And I've also got a bit of an injury in my forearm that happened when we moved house, and it's coming right, but it's still a bit kind of niggly. And so that was all fine after I'd finished the massage. And then I had my eggs and butter, and I was sitting at the table, and I was sitting there, and I was busy doing stuff on my phone, and I'm like this, and I could feel it's like my neck is tight and it's sore. And then I was like, and then I started to realize that my shoulders were tight and sore, and I could feel my forearm, and I was like, yeah, this is a thing that is happening, and it's noticeable after I fasted and then I eat, because after I fasted I feel great, and then as soon as I eat I've got some pain back. So that's kind of where I'm at with my diet, is heading into probably the next week or so, heading into an elimination diet of some sort. And I am also doing the alternate day fasting, and I'll get back to alternate day fasting. I may continue. I might do some of it while I'm doing the other. I'm not really sure. I'll have to see how I'm feeling in my head, because, I don't want to get to a point where I'm sort of end up binge eating on stuff and really craving things. So, and I'm mindful of that, because just with my history with food and knowing how I can be, so I haven't had any issues since I've been on the carnivore diet with wanting to eat other foods, apart from that last time when I did too much fasting. And so, yeah, I want to keep myself like that. And I'm worried that if I go on this elimination diet and then try fasting as well, that I'm going to start really feeling deprived and end up just stuffing up the elimination diet, eating things too fast, introducing foods too fast, or not sticking with it. So I will probably stop the alternate day fasting. So the alternate day fasting so far, I haven't really lost any weight on the scales, but so it's been about 2.5 weeks. And when I jumped on the scales this morning, so I have scales that measure my body fat and my visceral fat and that as well. And my body fat had gone down a fair bit. It was sitting at about 42% according to the scales, which is, I'm not sure whether it's been that low or not before. It might have been at one point when I was doing a lot of fasting. And it normally sits around 45, 46, up to 48%. Before carnivore, it was over 50%. So 42 is kind of heading in the right direction, even though my weight is saying the same thing. And my visceral fat was down to 12. So it's been sitting on 13 and it was down to 12. So that's heading in the right direction as well. I suspect that after eating today, if I get on the scales tomorrow, my weight will probably be down a bit, because it does that sometimes. The body fat and it'll shift first, even though my weight's the same. And then after I eat, the weight will come down. So see what happens. And the other thing that I've been doing is really getting back into more exercise. If you've been watching my channel, you'll see I've been putting up some shorts. I was putting them up every day, but it's too much, like trying to remember. The recording was fine, but the remembering and having time to edit them and post them was becoming a bit painful. So I thought I'll do about one a week and just compile it all. And because I think this is going to be a long-term plan somehow, my body transformation challenge, I just thought it would keep me kind of accountable if I had to do that and get me back into a regular exercise habit, which I really feel like I am now. So I started off just doing aerobics with Aerobic Style Oz Style on YouTube, because that was always my favourite, and that's what got me back into exercise always in the past when I had a bit of a slowdown. And I love aerobics, and so I've been doing that, and we had started sprinting probably maybe not quite a year ago, maybe 8 or 9 months ago, before winter it was. And I was doing it for a little bit, but then I ended up stopping because I was having problems with my ankles and my knees. Now that's one of the reasons I started doing the aerobics again, because I thought if I do aerobics and rebounding, that's going to help to build up the strength around my ankles and my knees. Even though I'm still overweight, it's going to help and get a little bit more fitness. So that's what I've been doing kind of through winter, and it's definitely worked. So we have just started sprinting again. We just started last week when hubby was doing it even after I stopped last year, until it got too wet, because we were doing it on the grass and the grass was really wet and soggy, and so he stopped. But while he was doing it, he was actually putting on muscle. You could see it on his body, which is interesting. So he's quite keen to get back into it again. So we're doing the sprinting every second day at this stage. That's the plan, although we've gone 2 days in between this time, because it ended up that we were sprinting on my fasting day, which I didn't really want to do. And also I had some sore muscles in my glutes and my hamstrings. We did a big walk up the bush on Sunday, 5.5k walk, which was really, I loved it, and I did really well. Like, I didn't have any issues, but I was a bit sore for a couple of days afterwards. So the sprinting, I tried to sprint the other day and it just wasn't happening because I was too sore. So we've left it another couple of days, and today is sprint day, so we're going to do it today. And I have been videoing us sprinting, and so I will pop a video up here. And even between when I started last 8 months ago, whenever it was, where are we now? So it was probably the beginning of this year. I'm trying to think what month it is. It was probably about the beginning of this year that we were doing it. It would have been. So probably February, March, maybe. So even from then until starting again this time, there's been there's improvement. Like, I can feel the difference. And so it's kind of addictive, and it's a lot of fun, the whole sprinting thing. We just laugh. We laugh so much sometimes, because it's crazy. Hubby, it's like his body goes too far forward, and he has a tendency to fall over. Not so bad now, but he was when we first started. And even when we did it the other day, he's running, and then he's going, oh no, because he can kind of feel himself going, and then he manages to catch himself and didn't go. Oh no. And so yeah, it's a lot of fun. If you haven't tried sprinting at the age of 60 and 66, you should try it. It's a ball. So we're doing that, and so my exercise regime is kind of, at the moment, is sprinting, back into that. I do aerobics a couple of times a week, 2 or 3 times a week, doing some rebounding, just a few minutes, probably 4 or 5 days a week, usually before my other exercise. And I'm doing some flexibility work. So I was doing a bit of yoga, but I own copies of, there's a girl whose name is Karina Dimitrova or something, and she has some programs, Beyond Flexibility, Core Play, and then there's 1 or 2 others. And so the Beyond Flexibility and Core Play I paid for them, I don't know, a few years ago now. So I'm getting back into those because they are really good for creating flexibility. You know, like the Beyond Flexibility, you can focus on splits or back bends. And I had been focusing on back bends when I first bought it, and I was actually getting there with them. And like, I was a lot heavier than I am now. But I ended up stopping because I hurt my shoulder and because I was having so much trouble with my shoulders back then. But now, after being on the carnivore diet for 2.5 years, my shoulders are so much better. They are, I can do push-ups and everything and really not have any issue with them. So that's a real bonus, especially for me with my work, because I'd actually stopped massaging men because I was having too much trouble with my shoulders. But I'm actually just had made the decision to start doing that again because my shoulders are just so much better. And so, yeah, I'm trying to get outside more now that the weather's finding up. We're heading into summer. We want to get up into the bush more. We've got all these amazing hills and bush tracks along near us. And so, yeah, that's what we did last Sunday because, I said to hubby, even if we can get up and do one reasonable one in the weekend, that makes a big difference. I remember years ago when we were in Australia, we used to walk into town in the weekends, every weekend. And that was about 10 k's into town and back. And we'd go in and get the paper. We'd buy chips and gravy and then walk home again. And so that was kind of just a bit of a ritual. So to get up and get into the bush somewhere, I think is a plan for us. And then if I can do that through the summer and we can get ourselves into that through the summer, then I'll be happier to go up in the winter, because the reason that I haven't gone up in the winter is I'm always worried about slipping, just because of the way that I've got myself unfit. I'm not sure-footed up there. And, I used to be very sure-footed. I used to be a bit of a mountain goat when we were up in the bush. But at the moment, I don't feel very confident. I have walking poles, but I'm getting better. It's definitely getting better. I mean, we came across the last creek crossing that we came back on Sunday, and it was reasonably easy. Like, I felt a lot steadier. So, a couple of months of doing that regularly, and I'll be back to being steady and being okay. But because the tracks get so slippery and wet through the winter, I just have been really too scared, basically, to go up there through the winter. But next winter, hopefully, will be different, because I should be back to being able to keep my footing and do some bushwalks even when it's wet. So that's kind of where I'm at. That's where I'm at right now. What I'm planning, my health is pretty good. My energy's good. Not all the time, but a lot of the time, and it's getting better. It's such a blessing to be feeling well, because I wasn't for such a long time. And so to be still improving, it's frustrating when you have days where you feel like you're going backwards, because that happens. But mostly it's going forwards. And it's so good. And hubby's the same, even though he's not 100% carnivore, he still has a sourdough bread and some honey. That's what he quite often has. He has bread every day and he has honey some days. He's having improvements as well. There's signs of his testosterone rising, which is cool. Won't go into detail, but there are signs of his testosterone rising, because that's been an issue for quite a long time. Started in his 40s when we look back. So that's a good thing. And so meat heals, man. If you are not on a carnivore diet and you're watching this and you're thinking about it, give it a go. Like I try to encourage my clients who will listen. A lot of people just think it's nuts, and I get that, because that was me as well when it was first mentioned to me. But I so wish that I'd done this years ago. It would have been a much faster healing if I'd done it years ago. But perfection always, and I'm here now, and things are getting better. So that's it for today. I've got to go and get ready to see my next client. If you have any comments or questions, pop those below. I'm thinking about doing some live videos, so keep an eye out, because I have been thinking about this for ages and procrastinating because it scares me, but I'm going to do it. And so I want to do some live videos. I also want to do some interviews. So if anyone wants to come onto my channel and share their story, email me, sue@meetmydiet.com, MEAT, mydiet.com. And and we can arrange a date and a time. Otherwise, I'm going to have to start putting some time in and going and finding people to interview, because I really want to do that as well. All right, that's it for today. Make sure to subscribe, like and share. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll talk to you again another day. Bye for now.